over time from trend, I've noticed that there's a color for each year. So you might want to research and even aside color for the year, you just know why you are picking that color. So for example, if we are asked to explain our colors, we know why. It's like a brand. You are a brand. You and your partner, you're a brand.
Especially when
Mm-hmm.
you're planning for wedding, you have a whole lot in your
You need
head.
to write.
And if you do not pen them down, if you do not have
You
like
just forget
someone
many
to,
things.
you'll forget many things. And by the time you remember, perhaps it will have been late. So when you write down, you go over them again.
So you have to be in sync with what the
Be
church is
intentional.
saying. Know their rules, and you can still enjoy your day with sticking to their rules.
I can do. I can. I think that'll be the first time I'll drive truck. Shout out to my friend. Atosinji did a good job in that regard as
Yeah,
well.
that's what
He
it
came
person.
around
Thank
too.
you.
Hi, Paragon fam.
Hello, everyone. You are welcome
To
to
our
our
channel
channel
once
once
again.
again. My name is Blessing Mojisola Oduni,
I'm Adebayo Oluwatobi Odunili, and
the,
we are
the
the
Paragon
Paragon
lovers,
lovers
and we have the mandate to showcase God's template
in
in marriage.
marriage.
You're welcome once again,
You
and
guys are welcome.
like as you can see, we are looking Christmas like already, and
Yeah,
we are a family of love. We love each other and we love God so
and we
much.
love you.
Yes, we love you because
Mm,
you're watching us right now, so we love you and we
we love you.
celebrate you.
We appreciate all your love, all your concerns from the first day to this present moment. It has been amazing. You guys are the
Mm-hmm.
real MVP. We
MVP.
appreciate all that you do. God bless you. God bless you for your
Amen.
love. God bless you for the comments, for the sections that
Amen.
we've received so far. Like it has been amazing and mind blowing. You guys are just
You're the best. Take your flowers.
yes.
Okay, so today we'll be doing something very exciting, like I said earlier, and it is talking about our wedding plans,
Plans.
how we planned our wedding. We'll be
Mm,
bringing you on that journey of how we planned our wedding from the initial conceptualization
mm.
till the final stage, which is
The
implementation
realization
and
and implementation.
execution
Yeah.
and all the shun and all the shun. You feel me, man?
Realization, implementation, execution.
Execution, Kiriko.
I know how to rap.
We played so much. Anyway, Sha, God's love is radiating amongst us,
Yeah.
and we want to. And this video is particularly to help our friends that are planning to still get married before 2023 ends, and also in 2024. We know that so many of our friends, our tribe members, are going to
Mm,
get married in 2024. That's
yeah.
our prayer for you. We know that God is giving you the best already.
By the grace of God, 100.
So this video is to guide you and direct you, and also to share our story with you.
Basically. And that's it. So let's jump right into it.
Yes, you found yourself right into it again. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today is we planned our wedding in a very short time, right?
Yeah.
But we would not, we cannot overemphasize that the hand of God was really
Ọwọ́
mighty.
Olúwa ń bẹ lórí ayé wa o. Ó ń gbé wa fò, ó ń gbé wa sáré. Truly, the hand of God
Yeah, the hand of
was
God was
and is,
evident, and it's still evident upon
yeah,
upon
upon
our
our marriage,
wedding.
upon our lives.
Upon that particular wedding, the hand of God was evident.
Yeah.
I think it was few weeks ago when we went to see mom and she was telling us some back stories, and I was like, really,
Yeah.
all those things happened, but we did not do. But we'll still share with you. So the first thing is we want to really appreciate everybody that God used for us in the
Mm.
planning, for the gifts, for the gift of men is very, very important.
Evident, and it was truly evident. Like the gift
Mhm.
of men was like played out.
We were overwhelmed at some point
Mm.
because we had different individuals settle some particular things. This person will say, "Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that," and all. And so, the first thing we want to do is to appreciate our pastors. Might not be able to mention names, but we want to sincerely appreciate our pastors because we know they will be watching this. Our
Mm.
pastors, our parents,
Our parents, our
our
families,
family, our family.
both nuclear and extended. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are grateful. We are
We're
deeply
deeply
grateful.
grateful. We're
Our
deeply
church
grateful.
members, our
Our church
family
members,
friends.
yeah. You guys are just the best. We love all that you do.
Yeah.
We appreciate everything that you have done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a major catalyst for us
Yeah,
in that section.
that's very correct. So I was saying we love you and we celebrate you. Thank you, Eshegoni. Okay, so moving on to other things that helped us. in the planning, in the journey.
Mm.
One, the first thing is prayer.
Prayer,
So would you like
Adura.
to emphasize or
Uh,
explain how it helped?
of course, we share the same faith, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not difficult for us to call ourselves together and explain some things. Because when you suggest something and your partner also is in sync with it, definitely the execution will not be a problem at all. So we did not roll out the place of prayer. We prayed about everything. We prayed about
Everything.
all the little things uh that you might think
It's
we
not,
don't.
why would you put this in
eh, eh.
prayer?
So we did pray about everything. We prayed about everything, and then God showed up, and we saw the hand of God. Our prayers were in sections. Our prayer as couple, prayer with our family members, prayer with our parents, prayer with friends. We had some of our friends gather up to pray for us, even while
Paragon
we did
train.
not even know.
Mm,
Um, had some of my friends, yeah, some of our friends, we do that. Each time we go for counseling, we had sections of prayer. Each time we visit our parents, we had to pray together. And when we meet together as well, of course, we usually
prayer.
had our prayers time, our praying time, and we kept to that. And that we know that God used to actually help us. Of course, we're not saying we're righteous. We're not saying we are too righteous. We're not saying it's our prayer that paved way. Like it's not by man's doing. It's not by our prayer. It's not by our study. It's not like we are righteous. It's not like we know how to do it best. But then it's just the hand of God
The mercy of
and the
God.
mercy of God that came through
But the
for us.
but the importance of prayer cannot be overemphasized. If you're
Very.
planning your wedding, it's
Mm,
important that you and your partner you pray.
mm,
You pray together with your families, and you also pray together with your friends. It's very,
mm.
very important. Because there are different stories we hear about weddings. In fact, it was towards our wedding that we started hearing some stories of things that happened. This one brought this gift, that one. And we're like, no, this is not going to happen at our wedding. And
No.
we thank God for how we went and also prayers. Even you remember, even still on this topic of prayers, even after we got our wedding gifts, can you
Yeah,
remember that part?
yeah.
Or after we got our wedding gifts, we didn't bring it home immediately.
We left it in the church, in the pastor's corner. So a major attention can be done on it, prayers and every needed sections on it. We didn't rush to pick up the gifts
We
and all
didn't,
that. So
and it was even weeks after he brought it, because we know that he
mm,
wanted it to just be with him and he prayed over it. Yeah, so prayer is very, very important if
there are
you're planning
prayers
your
from
wedding.
family,
Mm-hmm.
pastors. In short, we had pastors from different locations as far as Akwa Ibom, Ibadan, and some other places that they came around and they prayed for us. We are very grateful.
Yeah, we're
So that's
deeply grateful.
mm.
That's the first point.
So to the second point, what do we have?
The second point is communication.
Communication.
Hmm. I think I just want you to talk about that.
Communicate about everything. Communicate about everything.
Every
Do I
single
need to say
thing.
it again? Communicate about everything, like every single thing. Right from our own sections, we had to communicate about all that we needed to do. Um, from how do I even pick it up from the initial stage, right from when we were courting, we were always communicating. We had um, plans on, okay, this is how we want our wedding to look like. These are the things that we needed to put in place. Of course, you understand that I'm coming from a different background. She's from a different
Mm-hmm.
background. So I needed to communicate my own point of view. She needed to communicate her own point of view, and then we find a balance. However, now in this part of the world, our parents, they have more or less like an influence on some of the things that you do. So we needed to hear their own side of it. After which before we give them our own view, we also have to influence some of the things. But in all, we find balance in it all. But the most important is we were able to communicate every little thing.
So that's one thing that you want to do with your partner. Ensure that you communicate so that it's not like your partner is seeing red, you are seeing blue, and then there's no proper communication, then
Assumption is
misunderstanding
wrong.
are setting,
Mm.
assumptions or even expectations
Expectations, you now start
beyond
hiding.
normal will not start setting in, and
Who
you'll
you
not be
put him
like,
on for right now? You are meant to,
yes,
all those
yes, I
things.
get it, I
So
get
you
it.
need to communicate.
And these are the little foxes or little things that
Mm.
spoils like
The vibe.
the wedding planning. Yeah, or wedding planning, like it sometimes it takes a great toll on the whole planning process and everything. So it is very, very important to communicate. And still on communication, you don't just say, like, talk about every detail,
Yeah.
every, okay, so this is what I see, send pictures, send images or videos or what will help you explain what you're seeing to your partner. So communication is very, very, very important.
And to add to that, while you communicate, do not feel bad that whatever your suggestion, like the suggestion you are bringing to the table, is eventually not used. And I said something before that while you communicate, you have an influence, your partner has an influence,
Your
your parent
parents
has
have,
an influence, it's just
yes,
the church you attend has an influence.
yeah, the
Because I
church,
remember a whole lot happened, even with the
yes.
choice of songs and
Remember,
stuff.
we already planned out our songs, and at the later hour they cancelled
The some of the
it.
songs were cancelled, but then it doesn't mean you should just go on with
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do, and do not harden your heart.
Like,
Or
don't be too
don't
rigid.
be too
I
rigid.
think
That's
that's
the
the word.
word. Don't be too rigid, and you feel okay now that my own point of view is not taken. I think I should
Then
just stay back.
then you now turn off.
Don't turn off. It is important that you communicate everything and see reasons, ask questions. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another thing.
Yeah, that's
If
true. Thank
my
you.
partner is bringing up a suggestion, I should be able to ask, okay, why do you think this is possible? Okay, I think I see it from this point of view. Then explain yours too as well. And
Mm-hmm.
if you table it to your parents, now let it be balanced. Table it to both parents, so it won't be as though a particular side you give preference to a particular side than the other. And while you do this, communicate with everybody. Communicate with your bridal train, communicate with your parents, communicate with your pastors, communicate with your friends, even your vendors. Communicate like your vendors.
It's
Vendors
like
can be funny.
communication is at the center,
It's just at the center.
and if
When
you
you
don't know
come,
how to do effectively, so many things will flop.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So vendors can be, they are not seeing the picture, they are not seeing what you're seeing. So you need to let them know and give them deadline. Like communicate at every point in time.
Like, God has blessed both of us in communication, like
Yeah.
being able to communicate effectively, and I
Yeah.
think it's a blessing that we need to really thank God
Do you
for.
know at some point I wonder, I used to think these things are actually natural.
Mm.
I wouldn't know, but from my research or from what I've seen so far, I noticed that people struggle a lot with stuff like this. And to me, it comes natural. It comes naturally for us, and I feel it should be.
And I
I don't
remember
know.
telling you sometime that because you because it comes naturally for you doesn't mean it will come naturally for some other people. And I remember
Yeah,
saying it's a natural gifting, but you were still saying nobody should know. It's just what comes. I'm like, no, not everybody's like you. And how I knew was even because my mom, like, by God's grace, she was always in the aim of affairs, like in a place of work, a very big school in Lagos, and also she usually does the planning of major events. And then she would tell me that then this scholar Iyameto, so she would tell me that this thing that she used to think it was natural for everybody to be able to do it and communicate effectively with other
mm,
people, but while relating with people, while working with people, she now began to see that no, not everybody knows the right thing to do. Not everybody knows how
imagine.
to do it.
Yeah,
We're coming from different backgrounds and
very
all.
true.
And then there's a special grace too of God in that area. So
Mm,
it's different. But it's something that can be learned. It's something that can be prayed for. God, please help me to communicate
yeah,
effectively. Because if you can communicate effectively with people, you would be able to achieve your goals very fast, and you would go far in life.
yeah,
It's very, very important. So
very.
regarding wedding planning, you cannot afford
Not to
not to know how
communicate.
to communicate. You need to know how to communicate at every point in time. Know how to communicate,
Yeah,
and
it's
even communication. Still on this communication matter, communication helps you to be able to ask for help when you need some.
that's just it.
We're still
That's
even maybe we should not even go there
not
yet,
there.
but we're
We'll
still
pick
going
it.
there.
I believe you're enjoying. If you've watched this much, you guys are the real MVP.
You are the real
So just hit that
MVPs.
subscribe
So
button.
the other thing that we did is the first, in fact, that was like a major step too. It was the choice of colors, our theme, and also our tagline.
Yeah,
Do you want to explain that?
yeah. Basically, of course, that. Okay, from the first point, which is prayer, we
Mm-hmm.
prayed about the theme, and God gave us like a theme for which you know now, the
The
Paragon
Paragon
lovers.
lovers,
It was prayed for, and then I think we've explained that already in some of our
previous
previous
videos.
videos. So you do well to go back to watch. So, like you rightly said, um, the choice of color. Now you know one thing, your visual is important, and that is more or less like a picture of what you have in mind. You paint it out to your partner or to the world out there. So your visual is important. So you need to choose your color. You need to know the colors that you're playing around with. Take for example, you want to design a thing. You have your graphic designer, which is one of your vendors. So in one of the areas, you need to give your choice of color, and while you pick your clothes as well, you need to be mindful of the color that you're going for. Not that you have A, she has B, I
Mm-hmm.
have blue, she wants black, something like that. So that's even in more in actual sense, communication also plays out in that.
In
So
the choice of
in the
colors,
choice of
because you
color.
both have to come to, you
Mhm.
have to agree on like the particular colors you're going for, and then you need to know why you're going for those colors. So I know that, I think during our time, I observed that for some events in the year, say weddings, this year now, I think most weddings that I've attended, I've seen them, or I saw that they used lilac. So I don't know if that's the color for the year, but I know that over time from trend, I've noticed that there's a color for each year, so you might want to research, and even aside color for the year, you just know why you are picking that color. So for example, if we are asked to explain our colors, we know why. It's like a brand. You are a brand. You and your partner, you're a brand. So those colors, it's not that you just pick any color. I like blue, I like black. Your choice of what you like to comes into play, but also be detailed, like we paid attention to as much as any.
Mhm.
I don't want to say that maybe it's because we already knew that we're going to like ministry and all mandates, but I believe that detailing is very, very important
Very
for
important.
everybody,
Mhm.
irrespective of whether you're going to be doing this or not. It's very, very important. So you should know the choice of colors, come to an agreement.
Should have the rationale. Okay, what's the
Mm-hmm.
rationale for doing this?
Why am I doing
Why am I
this?
doing this?
Mm-hmm.
You should
She'd
know.
be able to explain. She'd be able to explain. So choice of colors and choice of thing. I remember when God gave us the word paragon lovers. That was that word, like it was so
It's
distinct.
influenced. It's more or less like the
Yes.
vision for us to,
Mm-hmm.
a
And
template for us to
to
work with.
work with and influenced so many things. And even after we got the name, we now got like mission, like of what we are
But
meant to be
yeah.
doing. So we
Mhm.
got it before we even came into marriage proper. We got it while planning. So it's very, very important. Your choice of colors, your theme, your tagline. These are things that will influence your attire.
Mhm.
There are things that will influence your decoration. There are
Mhm.
things that would influence even as little as ribbons or colors of, it's still under decoration. Your choice of colors are very, very important. Or even dress code for your guests. You see that it reflects around everything. Colors,
Mhm.
wedding and colors are like
The
five and six.
visuals, yeah.
Yeah, your visuals and even your graphics design.
Mhm.
Colors are important. It's like you are painting the vision that you have in your head. You're painting it
Out,
outside
yeah.
to the world. So you want to take that seriously too.
Mhm.
After we decided our colors and all, I think it was one night we used to decide the colors, because I remember that they were brainstorming at home. My brothers were there, and he too was brainstorming from his side. So, as I was just checking, I used Pinterest a lot. So, Pinterest is another app that
Mm.
helps when you're planning for your wedding. Pinterest and Instagram is
Yeah.
very, very important. So,
Just keep
by
checking, research.
I know that I checked a lot of images on Pinterest before I finally saw what I wanted. And it was not like I saw it in one place. We had to combine this, that. And my family, my mom was really there. She's like, and she was our event planner. Like, so she was really, really helpful in sourcing for little things
Mm.
as that. She was there all through when we were trying to check for the colors. And then I was sending pictures to him. So the type for the guys, even at that time for checking colors, we're already looking at, okay, so our train, what are they wearing? What color of tie are they wearing? So we're doing all the color or everything that would involve color. We're doing it
Detailing.
all at once.
Yeah.
It took time, but it was worth it. But because it made other steps easier.
Very true. That's good. Well, I have to give it to my wife in that regard. She did the bulk of the work in choosing the colors. But then at that point, I was just maybe was I flexing or was I doing other things? I was
But you did the bulk of the work in bringing the colors to life.
okay.
So I did the bulk of the
Mm,
I am mom. We did bulk of the work in conceptualization, but you did the bulk of the work in ensuring that the
executing
graphics like
and everything what
comes to
happened.
life and
So you
all.
need to understand your partner very well. It's more or less like communication too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't because at this point in time, because are you the one to choose the color? Am I the one to choose the color?
Or
All
some
those
people
things.
just say it's just for the ladies, but really,
At times, but then it's based on communication. So I know most guys don't bother themselves about all these things. They just feel, I beg, no, just use this thing. They do and they do. Whatever color you come up with, um, they
we're
will
good
accept
with
it.
it.
However, at least ensure that you are part of the plan. Ensure that you do the whole of, but do what works best for you both.
Mm-hmm. Do what's best for you both. I think that's something you want to write down.
Mm.
Then the third part, apart from, so while we were choosing colors and all, I think you should even take the third part,
What's the third part?
documentation.
Documentation. That's very important. I don't joke with it. We don't joke with it. Like every little details for people that know us there, for people, some of our friends know that some of these things are the things that we do. Like document everything. So
Everything.
right from when we started praying, right from when we got the team, like we have it all written down, and we have all those things. So this is the next step. This is where we are. Like, is it? I what do they call that? There's
Like
a
a roadmap.
stage. Yeah, like a roadmap. This is what we've done so far. This is where we are going. This is what needed to be done. I need to speak to this particular person before I can get this done. Now, looking at it, our brain, God has wired our brain so well that you still need to write it down. Yeah, you can't have everything up in your brain, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you're planning for wedding. You have a whole lot in your
You need
head,
to write.
and if you do not pen them down, if you do not have
You
like
just forget
someone
many
to,
things.
you'll forget many things, and by the time you remember, perhaps it will have been late. So when you write down, you go over them again. That okay, these are the things I said I was going to do. It's more or less like yeah, you have a whole lot of things to do um, at your workplace. What do you do? Write a to-do list. These are the things I need to achieve today. To achieve this is what I need to do. This is the person I need to speak with. So if you have it all written down, it becomes easier for you to be able to run with. So for us, when as we're planning, as we communicate, as we pray, whatever we come up with, our final decision, we'll pen it down, we'll write it down. You can use a tab. God so good, the world is evolving. You have Google Doc. You can be working on a document and someone
And your partner can see it while
from
they're working
wherever,
on
your
it.
partner can be in Canada or wherever, and can see whatever you're working up with. And you, so while you do that, it helps you communicate with other vendors, communicate with other persons that you need, and all of that. So documentation is very, very
Very, very
important.
important.
Document every little thing. So this is us saying if you need our documents, well,
Should we give them this? Anyway, Sha, His Excellency is very,
terms
very
and
nice. We are
condition
both
apply.
nice. Terms and conditions apply, but we have like templates that God helped us. His Excellency was one that decided. And if you see the template, you see that it was so detailed. So we have like checklists, wedding checklists. We have
Engagement,
engagement, like we have
reception,
checklists for
everything,
each of our events, and it was so detailed. Things we need,
even down
even to
to
food, like down to ingredients as small as pack of maggi. Like it was really, really detailed. So, and we'll be willing to share with our friends that are planning their wedding. So if you're interested, just send us a mail and we'll share them with you. The terms and conditions apply. But it's not, of course they are not financial, it's not something financial, but still
is
that
financial. Abeg, we need money.
did you just say that? Our share his excellency is just being kind. It's not, it's going to be free at least for the first 10 people that reach out. I think we should do that.
Female dynamics, you should do that.
Let's do that, please. This is Christmas period, let's give them something.
Okay, just this period.
So for the first 10 people that reach out to us, send a mail to us at theparagonlovers@gmail.com.
Hmm.
We're willing to share templates with you. So we did a lot of documentation.
Yeah,
We wrote down many things. And even with the doing a lot
we're
of
even drawing.
documentations, We even, oh God, there was a point where we had to, like,
Our
on
reception.
paper, we had to, ah, like now that you even said it, I'm remembering, on paper, we had to draw the reception hall. My
Mm.
husband was the one that drew it, the reception hall
How we
where
arrange our
parents will sit
table.
down. We drew like at how the chairs will be arranged, everything,
We
where
even
the,
did the dry run, did you know?
yes,
I
we
went to
did.
church to do,
Yes,
okay, this is how
and
we'll set
this
the
was
table.
what we presented to the decorator. Amazing glazing.
Mm.
This was what we presented to her to
And so
use.
it was easier for the vendor to be able to come into the picture of what we have in
Mhm.
our minds and what we have.
Mhm.
So that
Imaging,
makes it,
very important.
yeah,
Very,
makes
very
it
important.
easier. At times, well, we know that some of us or some of our viewers would definitely not want to go through the stress and
They
maybe
might
give
have event
an event planner or
planners.
something. So that's also very good. But
Like,
then you still need to communicate your
communicate, yes, you need to
what you have in
communicate
mind.
what you want to your planner.
Mm-hmm.
So in our own case, we had our mom as our event planner, but the reason we enjoyed it is because she did not just, she wasn't the one that did it alone. She brought us into it, so she taught us so many things in the process, and we
Mm-hmm.
learned. And it's just like from the planning stage to the shopping stage to different stages, it was
Yeah,
easy for us to learn some more. And then now that we think about the process, it's also a part of our journey.
yeah.
So if you have time, I don't know, I'll still like implore you to learn it. You can learn it and you can plan. But
Mm.
if not, you can outsource. But be sure that whosoever you're outsourcing to is somebody that you trust and is somebody that you know that will deliver and
Well,
will
if you have
deliver
any
well.
events you want to plan and you're looking for an event planner,
We are planners.
we are here for
We're
you.
here for you. We're here for
At
you.
least you accept that this on terms and conditions.
Okay.
Or are we going to plan an event for me?
No, terms and conditions strictly apply, but at an affordable rate for our Paragon tribe.
Of course,
So we
definitely.
plan events, though. We do plan events and we enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you would want us to let the Paragon Parara plan your events for you.
Paragon Pararan.
And we do surprises too. Okay, so let's move on to the next. After the, we already spoke about colors, we spoke about documentation,
Prayers,
we spoke about prayers, we
communication.
spoke about communication. I also wanted to say that even with the fact that we documented so many things, there are still some other things that we forgot. So you do well to share with, if you have a planner, share, or of course if you have a plan, it's your planner that is doing the whole thing, but you are just
Mm.
supervising and checking. If you're supervising and checking, check well. Like, you could share it with a third eye too, to check too,
Mm-hmm.
because there are
Definitely.
some things that you would not see that the other person will see.
Mm.
So I remember there were times where we would show mom the documents and she'll go over it and she'll say, you did not put this. So we'll be like, how did we forget? And those little things are very, very important. So that's why it's important. When you remember something, write it down. Remember another thing, write it down. Don't wait till, oh, when I get home. Just on your phone. I remember then, even as little as when we are coming back from work, then in the bus, we're already talking about, oh, so what are the things left? And we're jotting down on our phone, like on the notes on our
Mm.
phone, because we know that we don't have access to pen and paper like in the bus. And also, anytime you remember anything, write it. That is very, very important.
Yeah, so that's it. Anytime you remember anything, write it down. Have a third eye. If you have your graphics designer, you should have options.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, place the options side by side. Okay, from our vision, from what we intend to achieve, will this work? Will this work? And all of that. So it helps. Thank God for people. We said it before.
The gift
We
of
had
men. We
the gift
spent the
of men.
relationship currency
Yeah, so
more.
we needed to even ask. We asked questions. We had people that at some point they would even come and ask, guys, what are the things that are needed? So we ask questions and
Mm-hmm.
it plays out well. Like there are several things that we did. In short, in our vendors, they are basically, should we say, maybe your friends, families. Uh,
One mommy that our
so you
mommy's
can you
friends, like
definitely know that it's more or less like,
relationship.
it's not like we didn't pay. How do I? It's not equivalent. Like the service rendered was far more than what we eventually pay. But then you still need to show commitment and all of that. However, he played out so well, and
So
we
yes,
thank God.
we thank God. I think we are just moving down into the vendors because that's a whole point on its own.
Mm.
So in the choice of our vendors, like His Excellency has said, we did well too. There was one word that mom emphasized when we were about to start the whole plan. She said it is important to get, to get the best at an affordable rate. because she gave an illustration of you can get the best at an extravagant price or a
Mm.
very high price because some of them sell names, but you can still get the best at an affordable rate, not relatively very very cheap, but something that's still affordable and okay.
Mm.
So that was what we did. We were intentional about getting the best at an affordable rate, and then
Yeah.
it played out in all of our vendors where and the vendors, like he has said, we spent the relationship currency. So for our designs, our friend helped us. For our photography, our friend helped us. We still paid, but you want to know
For
that the payment
videography, we had that was
was
a
was
huge help.
minimal as compared to the service they offered.
Yeah,
Videography,
yeah.
photography, designs, our friends, decoration,
Even down to the church itself,
even
we had volunteers. Let's
mhm,
also use that. Aside the fact that we had vendors, we also had volunteers,
volunteers
people that volunteer themselves to help us
with serving.
achieve a whole lot, like a
Mm-hmm.
seven. We didn't pay them.
We didn't. We
So
didn't.
then we did not take that for granted
We
in
did
any way.
not.
I'm sure the Church of God, we had different departments in the church that stood,
That
and
supported us.
we had drone church, we had it.
We had drone. So relationship currency is one thing that you
Mm,
want to, and relationship currency doesn't just come. Invest in people because,
mm,
and you are not investing in people so that when it's your turn they will invest back in you. That's not the motive, but
mm,
it is important to invest in men. It is important to
definitely,
be a friendly person because there are
definitely,
days when you will need it to be paid forward back to you, and
definitely.
there would on days like that if you've not done justice to investing in men,
Mm,
you would have little or no help. So it's very, very important. It really
very
helped us.
important.
And even relationship currency is not just with us, even our parents. We saw so
Yeah.
many of their
Mm-hmm.
friends come to their aid. And there was a time when daddy wrote the people that gifted him and all, and the money was enormous. So we are grateful for relationship currency.
So moving on to the next, shopping.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Ew. Do you? I started remembering those days that we went to a full market.
A code water.
Mm. And then, oh, the experience was wonderful. We had friends that came around that supported. I had my brother supported. We had Rush supported, and we went to market. Mom was also there, and we did a whole lot together. Imagine, especially it was raining that period. Um, was it? Yeah,
Yes, there were some days that we would have to.
we had to cover up, buy all this. Is it trampoline or nylon or what do you call it now?
Yes, there were days where we had to like wear put on this nylon raincoats so that we do not get wet, and was it stressful? Yes. Was it fun? Yes,
Yeah.
but it was stressful, and it was a learning curve for us because there were things that we had to learn how to negotiate. We had to learn how to get the best. We had to learn the places to get the best. So like in a corner, we already know where to get what, who is in charge of what and all. So it really helped us grow in that regard.
Mm.
But shopping was one major thing that we had to do.
Mm.
If you are chanced, if you have the time to, it's something that you would want to do. You will like it and you learn from it. But if not, you can outsource. But still, as I've said earlier, do well to outsource to somebody that you trust
Yeah.
and somebody that you know that will not disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that you know that knows like what you like. Because going by ourselves, he helped us pick what we like. We picked what we liked. Um, I remember, and then this where communication comes in play too.
Mm.
We had regarding our parents' attire, we had to send pictures. We had to send pictures to mom and dad, like mom and dad, His Excellency's side. We had to send them pictures. So he helped us reach a conclusion. We sent them pictures and
So
they were
both
saying, oh,
parents.
this both parents and also shopping is very, very important, but you have to carry your parents along. You have to send pictures if they are not there, so that be sure that it is what they like and it is what they would want to wear.
Yeah. So basically that's shopping. So
Yeah,
on
that's
to the next.
shopping. On to the next one we have is
This thing when we're shopping, we needed to do some.
do some but
I remember when mom used to walk so fast. You negotiate, you'll be there, you leave the house very early in the
oh
morning,
my god.
and then you're coming back late at night.
Uh-huh.
I never knew. I've never had such experience before. I know most of the ladies, guys. I don't know. I just have to give it to, especially maybe all these tailors, fashion designers that you go to market, especially you plan events and all
Shop
that.
for fabrics
That
and all.
would be the first time
Even when we went
I'll
to
go
shop
to.
for my wedding gown materials,
And all,
the
ew,
designer went with us, and my His Excellency was there,
mm,
and he was just saying, "Hey, when you go really like
when
meaning
are we
what
going
of
to be
this one?
done?
When are we going to be done?" And then we just had to take time because mom too was there. We just had to take time to like with looking at the materials, looking at what we
Can ensure
want.
that this is what you,
Mm-hmm.
man, wow,
What an experience!
what
Now
an
that we are even
experience. If
remembering,
anybody
sef,
was going to tell me that you go to the market in the morning very
and
early
come
and
back
come
in
back
the
late, I would say,
night when everywhere is dark. It's not
maybe
just evening, no, like
dark,
night.
yeah.
Another thing about shopping that I think we might be missing out is do not wait to buy everything at once. So even this markets that we're saying that we went to Eco we
Yeah,
went like
big.
we went in we went different times. So we have a list like from documentation. We had sections, okay, we'll buy this today, we'll buy that tomorrow. And I remember when we went to shop for our introduction,
Mm.
we also had to already buy things for the wedding ahead because our introduction was like 3 months before our wedding. So
You get
we
everything
had to
sorted.
get everything, not everything, but
Most of the
we
things that you,
one thing
some,
that is important is thinking ahead.
of course,
When you think ahead, you act ahead.
and that's where the planning comes in place. So
Mm-hmm.
while you're planning, don't just plan for the present, plan
The
for
future.
the future. So if you have introduction to plan engage,
Mm-hmm.
have an
Start
engagement
planning.
bill in mind, have your
Yeah.
wedding in mind.
Yeah, it really
So
helps.
at times we've heard of cases whereby somebody tell you that a suit. Because I think maybe this on a lighter mood. I have someone in church that tell you that I have my suit utiwa, but then date. In short, he has suit, he has the date, but he does not have.
That's not a babe.
He does not have bill. Tell you I have
I
my
think it's
suit.
just whining.
But then in a way, we've heard cases whereby someone will tell you
Yeah.
that they have their suit months
Before
before
for that time.
before the time, especially if you are planning your wedding towards December like us, you need to do a whole lot of
Before that time.
before the time. So when you go to the market December
Mm-hmm.
period, it becomes
Very,
now,
very
you
expensive.
know what that
So
means.
this one even happened like first time with our Shelby fabric. We had bought it. I think we bought it like till that October. We bought it way
October,
before. I think it was October we bought it, and so by the time we went back in December, so
it
we had
was
even bought most of our things in October and November,
going to
early
ask the price
November.
times two.
It was almost times two, and we're like, wow.
Thank
So
God.
it's important to buy things early. With the way the economy of the country is, that everything doubles every time you get to the
Mm,
market. It's important to plan ahead, think ahead. If you can get money from somewhere, get it, save too, because it's very, very
I
important.
think that's one thing we should have actually said. If
Said
you're
earlier.
planning,
Mm-hmm.
ensure you have like a saving, something that
Mm-hmm.
you can work with. And another thing that we didn't say is do not make your plans, do not be extravagant
Mm-hmm.
in your spendings. Cut your clothes
Coach according to your.
according to your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
don't see, okay, because I want this, I want an elaborate wedding, I want something germane, something jing like a jamboree
Not
event.
even in this
Uh,
Nigeria of today.
you will do well to cut your coat according to whatever you know your capacity, what you're capable of. Because you know that after the wedding, you have other things to do.
Marriage.
Marriage is still there, so you
Yeah.
won't kill cows, kill elephants,
And then you now
kill
start taking
lion,
Gary when
and
you get
start taking
married.
Gary when you get married and
No.
all of that. So plan it.
Yeah. And I think it moves us to the next point of thinking ahead and planning ahead. So
Mm.
one thing we did too was
Logistics, right?
logistics. Regarding logistics for wedding planning, it might seem like it's not necessarily part of the wedding, but we had to plan for our after wedding.
Mm.
So after wedding, like okay, let's even pick it from wedding. Logistics regarding
Oh,
vehicles that transported family members, parents. Can you remember the whole experience?
I can do. I can. I think that'll be the first time I'll drive truck. Shout out to my friend. Tosin did a good job in that regard as
Yeah,
well.
shout out to
He came
person.
around
Thank
too.
you.
We needed to get we got two, is it mini truck now, two mini trucks. So he was driving one, I was driving the other,
To
and
move our
to
things.
move stores. And it was that period that we I needed to move. Like we got an apartment as well, and so everything all together, and it was
At
fun.
that time it was stressful,
It
but
was
now
fun.
thinking about it was
I was
fun.
enjoying it then. It was actually stressful, but then God,
Imagine moving like 2 days to your wedding,
uh,
or when like it was, when was it?
that's a story we don't think we want to say now.
Oh my
A whole
god.
lot happened, but then
Oh Lord.
logistics are well, the truck were available. We had friends too that came around that
That
helped,
supported us.
supported, and all of that. But then in the midst of this, I I believe that you don't just wait for people to do something for you. You yourself will carry the blow, sweep the place, then
Hmm.
people can join you. Yeah, it is
Hmm.
you that have the load. Yoruba will say, how did they say that proverb?
Ẹni tó bá gbẹ́rù ló máa bá
Ẹni
gbé,
tó
àbí?
lẹ́rù àbí
Like if you, ẹni tó bá gbé ẹrù ẹ̀
ibi
ni
tó bá
kinní
ti
kan
gbé
bá
náà
ń
ti
gbé.
máa bẹ̀ ṣé wọ̀nyí.
Let's
We
not.
both did not understand Yoruba, just
I understand Yorùbá. Like ẹni tó bá gbẹ́rù
don't
ẹ̀
say it,
ló
don't
máa.
worry. They understand, our viewers understand. So the bottom line is carry it. Like the way you just start the thing. So once you start in that process,
Other
see,
people will join
of course
you.
you need to seek help. While you're seeking help, don't just sit back and say, I'm a shake will do it.
Hmm.
No.
That's another thing.
That's
That's
true.
another point. Don't put too much trust in somebody that you have one uncle
Mm,
somewhere, or you have one auntie somewhere, or you have one mommy somewhere. That's the person that will help you and carry the whole burden of your wedding. It doesn't work that way. So that you will
and the
not be
experience.
disappointed. It doesn't work that way. Plan,
Mm-hmm.
work according to your budget, and if peradventure people say, oh, send your this thing, you can just, that's why it's important to have that document first, and you
Mm-hmm.
send it to them. If they do
These are the
anything,
things that we need. These are
you thank God,
this
you
one
thank them.
checklist.
If you
So
don't do anything, if they don't do anything, you won't be disappointed
yeah,
because you already have your
in the
plan.
process of having your checklist, once you know that this one is sorted, like have like a checkmate on it.
Hmm.
Put like a timeline. Okay, between now and this time, I have to have achieved this. And if you have achieved it to possibly like 60%, like have it documented also. It's not enough to just document that these are the things I want to do. These
Hmm.
are the things I want to do. These are the steps you want to carry out,
Take.
to put or to
Hmm.
take to ensure that this particular thing is done. So while you're executing, also document, like
Hmm.
at the day level, this is what we have done, this is what is remaining. Like have it documented that way. It becomes easier when you check the view, or when you check your list, or you check your document, and you be like, at times it could be so cumbersome and overwhelming when you look at it. Come on, are we going to achieve all of this?
Where do I start? Or you start saying, where do
Where do
I
I
start
start from?
from?
But then as you achieve, as you tick it, as you execute, uh
You
just tick the
tick your
list
checklist,
and
like
all
you
of that.
tick the
So
items on your checklist, and you
so
know that,
you
oh,
know
that one is
these are
settled.
the remaining ones, then you'll be able to plan ahead of it. So it becomes easier. But then marriage, wedding planning is sweet, stressful, and
Yes, I wanted to say that the wedding plan is actually like it's a whole journey on its own, and
mm-hmm,
it depends on how you want it to be. So some see wedding planning as being stressful, although I know that it can be, but it is also important to be intentional or telling yourself that this process I will enjoy it.
mm,
There are sometimes that some little things might want to frustrate you. Maybe you've planned with your partner to an
definitely.
extent, and then church doctrine, based on doctrine and one thing, they're not saying, oh, you can't do this.
Or some
Sometimes you might want to turn
families,
off and say, or maybe choice of
I
attire,
don't tire, Jerry,
they
me
say.
just come on chill and all that.
So you have to be in sync with what the
Be
church is
intentional.
saying. Know their rules, and you can still enjoy your day with sticking to their rules. For example, our own church, there are some certain things that we know that we cannot do. There's some certain types of dresses that we know that
Of
they
course.
don't accept. I remember then I really wanted a gown that was like flowy, like really, really flowing and all, but they said no gown that flows like too much. So I just had to stick to what we had, and it was still beautiful. So just understand before you start getting your attires, not the one that you will have bought it, you'll not say, oh, they don't want it, though, you will now have to go and buy another one. Understand the major stakeholders in the wedding planning
Mm,
process, and
mm.
then run with what they want to do, run
Cole.
with it,
Understand the major stakeholders
and run with
along
it.
with it.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
very, very, very important.
Profound.
And then
Beautiful.
one thing that also helps us in our wedding planning process is unity. So unity amongst our family,
Mm.
unity amongst our parents. So our parents too communicated.
Yeah.
I remember when mom came and there was
Both
this
parents
meeting
were,
and both
at least
parents
at some
met.
point, you would, when you talk with maybe my mom or our mom,
You
she
say,
just
"Mommy,
say,
it is off
yeah.
for me." Like
Once
mommy has
they
told
had
me.
meetings, they had something. Oh, that's good,
Mhm.
and all of that. So that's,
So both parents
but you know, in a
communicated.
way, you can't influence it.
No,
Like
you
to our viewer,
no, to our friends. You can influence it. Do you think we did not influence it?
how
We influence it because we would. I will tell mommy that mommy sọ pé kíní kan kíní kan that mo tẹ̀ feel pé màá dákẹ́ rí wọn
care
wá
about
ní
was okay,
like
and
she will
all
not
that.
say oh okay it's true that she would take time to
Okay,
see her.
very true. You can
You
influence it,
can
but you know,
influence
some of
it.
our parents
Can be they would
uh,
want to have their way.
and all of
African
that.
parents,
So, how do you
the
do it
Holy
in such a
Spirit will
case?
help you. The Holy Spirit still helps because there are still ways. I remember when I intentionally went to save, although that was even before. If you've watched our journey of faith, you remember this. When I intentionally went to save, or when I intentionally, mommy sent, I think mom sent mommy friend request on Facebook and she had not accepted. And I intentionally went to accept it before she saw it. And I'm sure she's watching this like, hey, got to lashing, yes. So there are some certain little things
Mm,
that the Holy Spirit will be helping you to do
very true.
to help
Mm,
your both parents come together and get
yeah,
united. It's
yeah.
very, very important for them to be in unity,
So
to
you
be on
have
the
a
same
major.
page.
Mm. So the couple in question, you have a
Mm-hmm.
major role to
Role
play
to play,
in that.
sharing that your parents are on the same.
Mm.
Because we heard stories of these people don't want this, this is how we want it, and it has caused a lot of rancor
Yeah.
in wedding planning. It's very, 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 very important.
Mm. Any other?
Wedding planning is see, I know that
And
there are
that's where
so
you
many
even
things.
choose who's, are we cooking together? Are we cooking
Yes, are we
separately?
cooking together? Are we cooking separately? And even the bride list, that list.
Mm.
So the list then is very, very important. So you need to know what your parents like, your parents in love, what they want, or you need to request. They would give you a list as a man.
Mm.
I think you would want to talk about that.
For
The
which one?
list, the engagement
Okay, the
list.
engagement list. That's sorry. The engagement list. That's the part of the planning. That's like a. You see, should I use the word like a tradition? As a man, you get the list from your parents, so you'll be able to run with it. Okay, these are the things I needed to do. For us, it was a bit. It was in short simple. It was sweet. Why? Because I had good mother-in-law that she was so supportive. Even at some point, she had to go to the market to get the stuffs ourselves. And then I think at that period, I felt I felt a bit sick.
It was
Uh,
like introduction
okay,
period.
that was intro. Okay, that
We're
was it.
not feeling so well.
And she played a major role. Like the love was, she took me. Of course, not that she just took me. Like I'm her son. So basically, she played a major role, and it was not difficult. And my parents too, on their own set too, they were so supportive. They got some of the things. I remember
Mm-hmm.
dad going to
God, the
uh
my
my
12.
12 market to get, okay, these are the things that we're going to get. He got them, they look so big. When I saw the things, I was like, really? But then, like, the support that we had was just enormous. So for the list, it was not difficult. It wasn't difficult at all. So both parents, they had in sync. My own bride's parents, they had to cut off some things. You know that do we need all these things? Based on tradition, you want to do some things, but then
Mm-hmm.
some things were cut out of the list, and it was so beautiful for us
And
as
they
a
were really
couple.
considerate too.
Yeah. So
And then regarding our venue, so
the venue,
the venue we used our church, we are
yeah,
privileged, or we are still privileged now. We were privileged
yeah, we're
to have had the
privileged
opportunity
to
to
use the
use the
church.
church. So we used the church for, we didn't do any renting. In fact, still on logistics, the place where our crew slept, the
Oh,
where
very
they
true.
slept,
Hmm. And that
we
was
we had
we had
we had the
that's the gift
gift
of
of
men.
men. We had the gift of men,
They
and it was
came,
evident.
yeah,
So we didn't need to rent hotel.
hotels too.
We didn't even need to book hotels. The only people that booked or
We had,
lodged were individuals that requested specially that they wanted to
hmm,
lodge. But we had
and
um
it was not just a Gegbe place.
yeah, a
It was
very
more
nice
like,
place.
yeah, a very nice place. That was where we even did most of our
Photo
photo shoots
shoots
and all
too.
that. So
So we had a place for the guys, and we
That's
also
it.
had a place for the
These
ladies.
families, they are wonderful.
Yeah, we
God
had
bless
families
you.
that supported us in that regard, logistics. And okay, we've spoken about vehicles. There were still some certain families that gave
They gave
cars. Okay,
cars
so do
and
you need car? What do you need? We just had cars available for us to
for the way that was
use.
when I drove a car that you have to use button to.
Oh my god, I remember that day. It was the day before our wedding.
I wasn't
And you
used to
say,
that.
like, eh? And I remember it to stop at some point. You be like, what does it stop?
Those are the
Wedding
pledge runs.
planning. So that venue, we had our engagement in our church, we had our reception in our church, and we had our church wedding proper in the
In the
church
church
too.
house also.
So one thing that almost like one part was transitioning from the church service into the reception.
Hmm.
We had to do a lot of thinking ahead of ha,
How do we go
how
about
do
it?
people
Because
move out?
we needed to
How do
use
they
the same.
rearrange the church
So how did we go
for
about it? So
all?
we had like our plans. The decorator already previously did a major design for the reception stand, so we had to keep that somewhere. So we had like a major things that that will take time. We
Mm,
were done it earlier, like days before, and so while we used the church for the settings, we of course at that point in time needed to bring in people. Of course, okay, that's where we now had the protocols, the security, and all of that. People that volunteered and were helpful. So in a way, there was a provision for a tent outside for people to move, and immediately the place was set up for us to use for the reception and all of that. We had numbers, we had crowd that we, we were not expecting.
we had many people attend our wedding.
Yeah,
Because okay, maybe that's one. Maybe that's should I say the con of using the church, like where everybody knows and all. But it was still a blessing, irrespective. We had many like crowd.
mm,
I can't even quantify how many people came to our wedding, but we certainly had many people at our wedding. And a few weeks ago, mom was saying or giving us a backstory of how she began to say, "Hey, God that fed
5,000 sheep.
come and feed these people," because she was wondering
You don't
that
know where the people hit.
they ate and they
That's it.
took home, and the food was still like it was still surplus. So that's one
We
thing
did
to
not
be
know how God
grateful
did it,
for.
but then God did
He
it.
did it. That's one thing to be grateful for. God did it. So regarding our
Who did
venue,
it?
Jesus, oh my
Oh,
God,
wow.
wow! To round up this video, like we've actually brought you
On a journey.
on the journey, saying the things we did, things we did not do. But in the process, it was like we said
Things we
earlier
did not
that
do. Okay.
yes, sir, there are some things we did not do,
Very true.
but I can't even think about them now because it looks like many things we did not.
A
Okay,
guest
one thing,
minister,
yes,
artist.
we had a band. We
We
had
had a
band.
band, like we didn't say it.
Oh, it's true. We didn't talk about it's under vendors.
Yeah, right,
We
that's
had we didn't even talk about the baker too. There are so
true.
many things we didn't talk about under the vendors, but it still like boils down to having people that you trust
Yeah.
and people that you
That's
know
true.
their work.
Mm.
And someone, if you want to get a guest minister or like a musician, you might have to check his page. If you don't have a personal relationship with him or her, how does this person
We have good
sing? Choice of
recommendations.
songs.
Come and meet us.
Choice of issue we have recommended. All our vendors are amazing. So if you would require any vendor, we're up. Like just send us a message.
Consultation fee.
I thought I was one that should like money, but it looks like you like money more
At this
than me.
age, I like money.
Okay, so there were so many lessons that we learned from our wedding planning.
Mm.
We've spoken about prayer. We've spoken about trusting, like outsourcing um,
To people that you
to
trust.
people that you trust. We've spoken about asking for help. Ask for help when you need to be. And one thing that what happened was pressure. Pressure might want to set in at some point. At some point, because when
Not
things
might.
don't, or it will, when things
Not
don't
might.
go the way you plan, it will. Because I remember that day of our wedding, we had planned our own. Because we had all our events that one day. If you are doing a one day event, this is for you. So we planned that engagement was going to be from this time to this time, wedding,
Wedding
church wedding from this time to this time, or
at the
reception,
reception at the same venue the same
the
day.
same venue, the same day.
So it was
Engagement did not start at this. At the, yeah, I think it started. It was meant to start from like 7 to 9. I think we did not start till like 8.
yeah, we didn't start
Like
early.
until like an hour after, and then when we finished, I just had like 10 minutes, and I was still meant to go back to where I lodged to change. Although it was not very far, but it was quite a distance to change, to do my
So I
hair,
think
to
that's one of the things
do,
people need to work out. If you are
yes,
using a day to do all of that, go to the
already
engagement,
bring your stuff
so you
like
need to have your stuff. I think that's one
around
of the should we call it like a mistake or some of the you can't
lessons,
be
a
of
lesson.
course a lesson, so you can't be perfect in
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I think that's one of the lessons that we get to pick out from. So our place was a bit far, not that far,
No
but then
far,
close.
boy, it was a
But you
distance.
needed to in less than 10 minutes you
And
needed
what
to
cost
change
it was that time. So any little time that somebody overlaps, like any little time that lags, it causes a ripple effect on the whole
all that.
event. So it affected because I remember that I had to go to the lodge just in 20 minutes to change and come back to church. And RCCG standard, you must be there before.
The
Like,
time.
so I wasn't even there at the time I was meant to be there, and there was a lot of pressure already. Where are you? What's happening? This one, that one. And RCCG will not wait for you. They would not wait, they will start.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I keep telling people, do well to ensure that your vendors stick to the time they're meant to start, or even if you cannot control it at that time, have your things around. Paraventure, if I had my things around, I would
It
have
would have
just
been able to.
changed and would have been able to manage the situation better because it put a lot of pressure on us. But along the line, I just told myself, no, I was going to be happy. Nothing was going to steal my joy, and
Yeah.
it helped because all through I just smiled and I kept dancing and
But it
joyous.
affected actually, but then
Did it affect?
ah when we
Oh, it
started
affected my mood though when we started church because I was angry because there was a lot of pressure. Where have you been? What's happening? Kilo Shele? Like, imagine when like 30 people are just on your head shouting what's happening and all your that is a part, this one, that one. So many drama happen in a very short period, but we are
uh,
thankful that it still went the way it
yeah,
did.
indeed. Glory to God. So if you watch this certain
Hallelujah.
point, you guys,
At the real
thank you so
MVP,
much for
thank you.
all the love. We love you. We appreciate
We
you. Wish you
celebrate
Merry
you
Christmas.
and Happy New Year in advance. And we want to wish our friends that are planning their wedding or they have weddings to plan in very recent times or next year that we wish you a successful wedding planning period.
Amen.
And we know that your wedding is going to be successful. Your
Amen.
marriage would be successful as well in
Amen.
Jesus' name. God will
Amen.
give you the best
By the grace
by
of
the
God.
grace of
Please reach
God.
out to us at
For the
Gmail.
template, yes.
Also reach out to us on our Instagram handle. You could also check us out at Instagram,
TikTok.
Paragon Parana for events and all that. Could be planning surprise, it could be wedding, it could be a conference meeting, it could be
Mhm.
just reach out to us.
We'll be willing to attend to
God
your
bless
inquiry. Thank you so much for
you.
watching.
God
God
bless
bless you.
you.
Bye. Till the next video. Bye.